Okay, I'm back here just a moment to still continue on with part 2 of biblical polygyny. Is it lawful? You know, I'm finding it hard to find words to kind of comprehend the reason why people hate this particular lifestyle so much. I understand. I get it. I get the fears. I get things that people think and believe. I really, truly do. But my question to you is why do you not have an outcry against all this fornication or all this illicit sex that's going on and these people having children outside of wedlock and all this so-called dating stuff? Because none of this stuff is biblical. It's not in the Bible. But anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there. But I don't understand why this society here is so troubled by it. But let's go and deal with facts and not opinions, okay? The majority of the patriarchs in the Hebrew community, Hebrew Israelite community, and I'm talking about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. If you believe the Bible, then guess what? You're going to see them in the kingdom. They were all polygynous, and they all had more than one wife, with the exception of a few, like Isaac and stuff. So what people do is whenever they can't find anything biblically against it, they continue to keep their personal opinion and assertions, or I call logical fallacies. What people try to do is try to call it sin without saying it's sin. Because we all know, according to 1 John 3 and 4, that sin is the transgression of the law. So all we have to do is go to the law. And like I stated in a debate some time ago, when I was debating this guy who called himself a pastor, we can end this debate real quick, fast, and in a hurry. All you have to do is just show me one law that condemns it as sin. Then the debate is over, you won, and that's it. But 4 hours later, I still waited to hear it, and I didn't hear it, never did hear it. And I often ask people who send me private messages, and Pastor Fox asking them the same thing. And a lot of people, they just do it, and we just said, just show us the law that says it's sin, and nobody can seem to produce it. They come up with logical fallacies. In other words, they come up with made-up questions. The Bible teaches foolish and unlearned questions avoid because they do gender strife. So these people come up with foolish and unlearned questions, foolish and unlearned statements. Let me give you a couple of facts here, okay? You remember when Hagar took off and left from Abraham? She took her son Ishmael, and she just took off and left because of the strife that was going on with her and Sarah. And I'm going to deal with that one too. What did God tell her to do? God told her to go right back. Now, mind you, God knew that Abraham had already had sex with Hagar and produced Ishmael, Abraham's firstborn son. And if polygyny was, or a man having more than one wife was so evil, why did God send Hagar back, knowing that she was going back in that type of lifestyle? People say, well, people who are in polygyny or polygamy have problems. No more than all this divorce and remarriage that we see taking place out here, and all this serial polygamy, divorce, remarriage, divorce, remarriage, divorce, remarriage, and all this unlawful dating. You see, I can clearly make the same statement. For instance, except mine would not be a logical fallacy. Mine would come from truth and facts. I'll give you an example. Let's just assume that Adam and Eve were monogamous, all right? And I don't know too many people in America that is monogamy or that is monogamous. Do you? Before you got married, was you monogamous? Was your wife a virgin when you got married? If not, then guess what? Well, let's just go on with the subject. Let's just assume Adam and Eve were monogamous, okay? And guess what? The first sin that came into the world came by a monogamous couple. The first death that came into this world came by a monogamous couple, meaning murder. That's what they produced. The first bitterness, hatred, strife. Matter of fact, sin actually entered into the world through monogamy. Now, I understand that people may get irritated and upset because I'm bringing forth these facts. Let me give you another example, okay? As painful as it is, and the reality of it is this. Moses, in Numbers 12, took an Ethiopian woman, a Cushite woman, for a wife. And Moses' older brother Aaron and his sister murmured against him because he had took the Ethiopian. And mind you, he was already married to Zipporah. But watch this. The Most High came down and called them three up to the door of the tabernacle in Numbers 12. Go read it for yourself in context. And the Bible clearly says, and they murmured against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman. Watch this. After Yah got finished speaking to all three of them, and he said, you mean to tell me that you people wasn't afraid to speak against my servant Moses? In other words, Yah is saying, I know everything about this man. Remember, I told you him and him alone do I speak to face. But you, I'm going to reveal myself to you in visions and dreams if you are my people or prophet. All right? So Yah departed, and guess what he did? He smote Miriam with leprosy, shut her outside the camp, and Moses had to plead to the Most High for Miriam's condition that he would restore her back into the camp. Mind you, all because Moses took a second wife. Look what Yah's judgment was in that. In other words, you murmur against Yah's men, called men, whether you believe they are or not, you had some serious trouble, some very serious trouble. No wonder you probably have calamity, strife in your lives, because you're probably murmuring against something that you shouldn't be touching. Let's give you another example. David committed adultery by taking Uriah the Hittite's wife, and he tried to cover it up. He didn't cover it up. He may have covered it up for a time, but Yah, through the Most High, the Most High's prophet Nathaniel, or Nathan, revealed it to David that you are the man. And then guess what? All this calamity came into his house. Now, David had a man murdered, thereby having blood on his hands. My question is this, and I want you to answer me. Why did not the Most High, the creator of the universe, the one that we all say we love, why did he not condemn David, but instead put his sin away from him? Why did he not demand a divorce from Bathsheba, but instead he brought forth Solomon? And out of that line, coming from David all the way back to Jesse, comes our Messiah, Jesus Christ, Yahshua HaMashiach. What in the world is going on? See, most of you are under strong delusion to assume and believe that he's going to change his program to suit you because you have a Western mindset and you live in a Western society that deals after Western philosophy, coming from the history of the Romans and the Greeks, who have this uncanny ability to be able to steal all the glory of antiquities, including his history, and repackage and present it as if everything in this world and this earth originated with them. That's much to be desired, isn't it? David talked about that the musical instruments is a delights of men, but when you go look behind that word musical instruments, you'll find out that the delights of the sons of men are wives and more wives. In other words, just because your translation, especially in the New Testament, says an English word one, you need to go back and look behind that word, or the word own as presented in 1 Corinthians 7. Go look behind that English word that's presented to you and see what the original says. You're going to have problems. You're going to have some serious problems, because you're going to find out that surely the penmanship of the scribes are in vain. In other words, people have translated this Bible the way that they wanted it to be translated based on the society we live in. And many of you don't have any idea of the connection between the Old and the New Testament, because the books of the Apocrypha that breached and it bridged together the Old from Malachi to the actual, check this out, to the actual New Testament has been taken away from us. Who did that? Because it's in the original 1611 King James Version of the Bible. See, you have been gamed and you have been toyed with, some way, shape, fashion, or form. Now, I realize that people don't do things right in this world, but however, there are some good men in this world that do things right. We'll come back and hopefully finish it up with a part 3 at another time. Just stay tuned. I hope you're getting educated. And please don't get upset with me simply because I'm talking about a subject that you hate. Because if you hate this, then you hate God.